Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we're here with another video, and today's video is going to be on something that's been on my mind for a while now, and I went ahead and tested it today. So basically, what we'll be testing for is whether or not Zulrah scrolls are actually worth using. Now, in the past, they've reached up to 30 and 40k, and obviously at that point, it wasn't worth using. There are really two options to go ahead and get to Zulrah, depending on how you want to go about it. One, you do require 71 agility, at least with summer pies as well, to be able to go ahead and cross the little platform in the Zulrah area. As you guys can see here, it is unlocked at level 76. However, with the summer pie, you can boost 5 levels, allowing you to go across it even at level 71. The other option is by using a Zulrah teleport scroll, which will teleport you pretty much right next to the Zulrah boat. These two methods have their pros and cons. Obviously, the pro being to the teleport scroll is that you're teleported a lot closer, but it comes at the cost of about 7k currently. Now, in the past, as I said earlier, they've reached 30 to 40k, but now since the Zulrah teleport scrolls have been more prominently dropped due to a somewhat recent update, now they drop 4 scrolls instead of 1, and the prices have dropped all the way to 7k. With that said, the real differentiator here is whether or not that running time is worth it compared to just teleporting there and spending the money on it itself. This is heavily reliant on how many kills you are actually able to get per trip, because the less kills you can get per trip, the more running that you're going to do, and on top of that, it is heavily reliant as well on how long your kills are, because the longer your kills, the less money you're making, which means the more money you may want to save by running. With that said, let's go ahead and test out what the two methods are able to do for you and really what the difference is between them, and then we'll go ahead and get on into the real comparison. So as far as the testing goes, obviously teleporting is practically instant. It does take a second or two for the animation to go through, but overall what I was able to find through using the fairy ring in someone's house, which is where I'd imagine most people are using this through, whether that be through their own house or someone else's house in a hosted world, basically it takes you another 22 seconds to be able to get there over if you were to just teleport there. So that's the time that we'll be taking into account going forward, just so you guys are aware. Before we go ahead and get on into the comparison, please be aware that there are so many variables going into this that I cannot possibly accommodate for all of them. Obviously, depending on whether or not you've done a lot or little of Zulrah, you will be getting faster or slower kills, and depending on how good or bad your gear is, that will also indicate how many kills you'll be getting per hour, and there's no way for me to accommodate that. Just try to smudge the stats as close to your ability as you can. But with that said, let's go ahead and get on into it. So if you are someone that's able to average about 2-minute kills, you'll probably get somewhere around 22 kills per hour, because there is time for banking, time to get here, and time to go in between kills, and also loot. With that said, the first comparison I'll be doing is 2 kills per trip. So a pretty decent Zulrah killer is probably able to manage 2, some can average 3, depending on the trip, maybe even 4, but we'll say for instance here, just 2 kills per trip flat. That means overall per hour, you're doing 11 trips, and you'll be using obviously 11 Zulrah teleports. That comes in at a cost of 77k, and if you were doing 11 runs running instead from the fairy ring, you would be losing 242 seconds per hour. So that would be added on to the entire hour, obviously. Instead of doing 22 kills in 60 minutes, you'd be doing 22 kills in 60 minutes and 242 seconds. With that said, if you're able to do 22 kills in an hour, that means on average, each kill is taking you approximately 163 seconds. And with that said, overall, the amount of time that you'll be saving will allow you to get another 1.5 more kills at Zulrah. Zulrah now relatively has about 115k drop per kill, and so with that said, with that time saved that you would have been running, you'll end up getting about another 170k, and obviously that is more than the 77k that you would have spent on Zulrah teleport scrolls. So in this case, it is definitely worth it for you if you are able to get 2 kills per trip to use scrolls instead of running, as the amount of time saved is going to be more worth it considering you'll be getting more kills, and on top of that, you will be getting a higher KC. So if you're someone that's hunting for magma mutagen or tanzanite mutagen or pet, maybe this is definitely something that you would want to look towards. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that if you are getting more kills per hour, you will be using more supplies per hour, I would imagine, and the average Zulrah killer probably spends about 15 to 20k on supplies per kill. So in total within that hour, if you're getting 1.5 to 1.6 extra Zulrah kills, you'll be spending about 30k extra per hour. Even then, it's definitely still worth it for you to use scrolls instead of actually running. Now moving on to a more inexperienced Zulrah killer, I'm going to say, for example, you could be getting probably 1 kill trips, I would imagine, and at about 3 minutes per kill. Now this is going to be someone that's relatively new to Zulrah, but this definitely still applies. Now if we assume the amount of time that you spent in the previous Zulrah comparison doing miscellaneous things like banking and going in between kills is the same in this comparison, basically you'll be able to get about 16.15 kills per hour, so not as good as before, but obviously you're more inexperienced, so it's going to be lower. With that said, if you're doing 16.15 trips as well, considering you're only getting 1 kill per trip, that means you're going to be spending another 113k per hour if you end up using the Zulrah scrolls instead of actually just running from the fairy ring. Now since you're doing more trips per hour at 16.15 1.15, that means overall you'll be spending another 355 seconds on top of that hour just running if you decide to actually do the fairy ring running instead. With that said, even in those 355 seconds, even if you are an inexperienced Zulrah killer, you'll still be able to get another 1.6 kills during that time, and if we assume the 115k average Zulrah drop that we did before, this means that in those 355 seconds, you could have killed 1.6 Zulrahs, making yourself 187k, and really that comes at the cost of using the Zulrah teleport scrolls, which were 113k. As well here, if you kill more Zulrah, you do use more supplies, and we'll assume a little bit higher of a cost considering the kill times are going to be longer and you'll be using more stuff per kill. Even if we assume 25k per kill, you'll be doing another 1.5 plus kills per hour. That's only going to add on another 40k, even meaning now it is still worth it for you to use Zulrah scrolls by at least 40k. Now this was really surprising to me because I thought as we got towards the longer and longer kills, it was going to be more worth it for you to actually use the running method, but it does make sense since you're doing more trips per hour that you will be running more, thus maybe making it less efficient. With that said, for the most part, it seems to be at the moment that everyone is better off using Zulrah teleport scrolls rather than actually using the fairy ring. This could only change for maybe people doing 5 to 6 minute kills, but that's relatively nobody, and even if that is you, it's only going to last probably for a couple hours of learning Zulrah. So if you're wondering when these scrolls will not be worth using in case they ever go up in price in the future, if you're only able to get 1 kill per trip and have pretty long kill times, basically it's not going to be worth it for you to use them if they go over the price of 9,000. However, if you are someone that's able to get 2 kills per trip and have decent kill times, it's not going to be worth it for you if they go over 13 to 14,000. So obviously they'd have to double in price for most Zulrah killers to not even be worth using. But even for the lower tier Zulrah killers, it's still worth it with a few K margin. So I'd say that these are definitely a thing that you should be looking towards in the future as well. So with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. This is something I've always been really intrigued about because I did a lot of Zulrah in my day and I never really knew which one was better. Granted, I didn't have the agility level to actually do it, but at the time I was really wondering whether or not it would be worth it for me to get the agility level, and now after working this out, I realize that it isn't, which is very demoralizing because now I have no reason to work on agility other than maybe the Cerberus shortcut, but I already have the pet, so I mean, you know. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and got some info out of it. If you guys have anything you guys want to tell me, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. And on top of that, if you guys enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.